My name is Letha. So this ASMR is just going to be a little bit of a chit chat with some jibber jabber and some triggers thrown in throughout. This is actually my first ASMR video done face to face. It took me a long while to get here. I've done some other ASMRs, but they've been like through videos or just images. I have a few, I believe, on this channel, and the rest are on TikTok. But I thought I should stop letting my anxiety and fear get the best of me and just show my face to the world. So I'm just going to start with some brushes on the mic. I love this trigger. So I have this fan brush. I've actually never used it. I bought this whole pack of brushes on Amazon, and these are the ones I never used. And the reason I still have them is because I never used them. I'm rubbish at like eyeshadow, so I've never used this eyeshadow brush, but everything has a reason to exist, I guess, and it will be for this ASMR video. So I'm just thinking of Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Oh no, yeah. There was one he did it with the car wax on the paintbrush. So this is with a paintbrush. Mr. Miyagi taught me how to paint. I actually have not watched Cobra Kai. I wonder if they do this in it. Okay, let's try another brush. I have these two fan brushes. One's bigger than the other. I think they're for highlight. To highlight points of your face delicately. But I just use a beauty blender for everything. Actually, with my makeup today, I was trying something new. And I don't like what I've done. I don't know what I did. I got an idea to just use blush because I did not want to wear foundation. And I just put it everywhere. I wasn't going to come on because of how I looked. But I knew if I didn't come on, or try at least to do this video, then I was never going to do this video. I'm still going by wax on, wax off. It's almost like a breathing motion, you know, you inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, finally getting used. And I like to think that they have more of a better value because they're helping more people than just myself. At least I hope they're helping you relax. Oh, please don't tell me that was harsh. Okay. Okay. I have. Now this brush I do use. I think, and it's my most expensive brush. It's the Say brush. Oh, you can tell I used it with my grubby fingerprints all over it. It's made of this really luxurious, I don't know, like material. It's probably just plastic, but like a shiny plastic. It sounds really nice when you tap it. Okay. Oh, I just realized I've been doing wax on, wax off wrong. It's like a sweeping motion and then a sweeping motion. So it's wax on, round, and then wax off, round. Oh well. I think I'm getting makeup on my mic. It's starting to look really shiny. Oh well. Can like tap like a beauty blender. Okay, I have some other lovely stuff on this table. I have this silk scrunchie. I hope you can hear that. I find it too big for my head. It's probably because I have really fine hair. I think on thick hair this would be lovely. I'm going to put it around the mic. There we go. Oh look, bonita. Miss Road is looking bonita. I'm so sorry I keep looking at the wrong. I'm using my front camera because I would just be too anxious not knowing what's going on with my back camera. My camera is here, the lens is there. Bonita. Let me put up the scrunchie so I can speak to you better. Because I want to talk about a lot of things. Or maybe I should put it down. Let's see. One of the reasons I want to do ASMR is because I like that it helps a lot of people. ASMR has helped me for the past 10 years. I'm a very anxious warrior. I worry so much. My mind just keeps worrying. I have some answers as to why that is, I guess, from TikTok. But I'm still discovering myself, I guess. But something that was mentioned recently on TikTok is that we don't give our mental health the type of care that we give our physical health. You know, we buy makeup, we go and do treatments and facials, we buy moisturizers, simple stuff. We just do so many things for our physical outward appearance, but not much for our mental inside. Our inside, our thoughts and our minds. We don't give it the same attention that it deserves. And I know I struggle with that so much. I will buy 10,000 million gazillion things, and most of them will be some things to make me look better or make me be perceived as more attractive than I feel. And that is a real issue for me. So I want to dedicate 2025 to upping my mental health and focusing more on it and just giving myself less of a hard time, because I am my worst critic. I criticize myself so much. Do you feel the same? But I think we all criticize ourselves. Actually, a couple of years ago I went to drama school, and one of my drama instructors, his name was Martin, he always talked about, oh, I can't swear, the little effer. The little effer is this little voice that's in the back of your mind, basically putting you down. It will say all the things. It was talking about the little effer because actors, or just people in general, but a lot of us actors, we get it when we're on stage or when we're performing. There's a voice in the back saying, you're terrible, you're awful, you're doing that wrong, you've missed a line, no one believes what you're saying. All those awful things that is in the back of your head. And if you listen to it, it can derail your whole progress, what you're doing. It can just derail you. And that's when actors freeze or mess up lines or just forget what they're supposed to be doing on stage or in a rehearsal or just on film anywhere. And it's the worst feeling. So he used to call it the little effer. And we used to ask him what should we do to prevent that little effer from messing up, all our hard work, all the rehearsal and practice and just all the preparation that we've already done. And he was like, I don't have an answer for that. You just have to ignore it. That's easier said than done. I believe we all have that little effort, I believe. If you don't, you are very, very blessed. Very lucky. Like, I don't know how you could not, but that little effort is awful. And it's happened to me both on stage and in life and in all the auditions I've done. Well, not all, but in a lot of them. I think I haven't even mentioned I am an actor. I'm trying to be an actor. I left drama school 5 years ago. And this is coming to my 6th year. And I've just been auditioning since. And I barely have anything to show for all the auditioning I've done. I can laugh about it now. But it's been hard. It's been hard. All that rejection has been hard. But to get back to the little effort, I remember one time we were doing this musical. We all had to audition for it in our 2nd year. Now me and singing, we have very tough relationship. Yeah, we have a tough relationship. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think it comes from low self-esteem, and also just, I don't know. I just think, oh, it's just that little effort. That little effort's right now telling me what to say about my singing, my terrible singing. And it's not terrible because I actually managed to get like a mainish role, and I had my own song, and it was like, I was so shocked because we auditioned for it, and I somehow got my own song, and I was like, what? How did that work? So we did the rehearsals, and I got to a place where I really liked my voice through all the hard work and rehearsals we had done. I had amazing instructors that pushed me and told me, Shanifa, you can sing, you're a great singer, you sound brilliant, don't shy away, put your all into it, you can do it. And so first night, it went well. We only did it for 2 nights because this was my second year, and in second year you don't quite do it to the public, you do it to your, the performances are for your friends and family, and then also your other classmates in that year and the years below and above. So first night my mom and uncle came and I sang, and it was great, and I felt on top of the world. And I remember my mom's face, she was so shocked. She's like, I didn't know you could sing. And I was like, I didn't know I could sing. I'm not saying I'm a Beyonce or anything before people start coming for me, but I had gotten to a very good place. Second night, oh gosh, I don't know, that night it came to my song and I was singing it, and then I got to the last verse and my mind, that little effort was there, the whole song, the little effort was there in the background saying, you can't sing, what are you doing? Who do you think you are, Beyonce? Who do you think you are? You can't sing, you're awful, you're off key. Oh, by the way, you've completely forgotten the lyrics. You don't know the lyrics. You don't know the lyrics. And I convinced myself I didn't know the lyrics. And I completely blanked. Yeah, I blanked. And I mean, I started singing again, but I was singing the wrong verse. But the wrong verse kind of fit in there, but it was awful, it was bad. And then I sang it, and then I finished. And then I remember immediately after the play, I ran and hid for, I think it was 4 hours in the toilets. Because I was so upset. I hid in the toilets. But yeah, that story will never, not even story, that instance will never leave me. But it's so funny, I can laugh about it now. But at the time, I thought my whole world had just ended. And that performance, I'm not saying it wasn't important, it was. But it wasn't to the public or anything, it was just to my fellow classmates. The second day, we were performing to the first years and the third years. It's so funny. I'm laughing now, and I'm hoping you're laughing. But that's life. That little voice can come in and mess some of the biggest things up, or even some of the smallest things, but they seem so big. Anyway, getting back to worry. Worry is a word. Warrior. I would Google that, but my phone is there. That's why it sounds like I'm saying warrior. Like a worry. I'm not saying worry, I'm saying worry. Worried. Worry, warrior. No. That is a word. You're a warrior. Now look. Maybe I think the little effort came in my head to say that. But I'm trying to focus on my mental health. Which probably doesn't seem like it since I've put my face on the internet. But I think by putting myself on the internet, I am fighting against those worries and those little voices. Because I've been wanting to do ASMR for maybe 3-4 years now. And each new year I'll be like, yeah, this is the year that I'm going to do some ASMR. This is the year. And then the whole year goes by. And I've done nothing. Which is actually sad. But this year, as well as looking after my mental health, I'm turning 30. So I think when you're turning one of those big ages, you always think I have nothing to lose. Let me do everything and anything and everything. So I'm in that position of everything and anything and everything. So I'm just doing everything. I have this brush. Oh, let me take this scrunchie. It is like a poor woman's kabuki brush. My cousin actually recommended it to me. She said it blended her makeup so well. I used it and it looked like I had no makeup, which is probably the point. But I felt like it absorbed all of my foundation. Yeah. And that seemed like a waste of money, for my foundation is supposed to be on my face, not on the brush. But yeah, to look after my mental health, I've decided, like, part of it is to stop caring what people think of me, which is easier to say than do. It's actually extremely hard. I'm always going to try and be as honest as I can be. No, that's not like, it's just now in this video I'm going to try and be as honest as I can be. And you can tell me if I'm giving too much TMI, like too much information. But because I've decided to be an actress, that has led to a lot of people commenting on my life in my family. Because to them, how do I say this nicely? I'll just say it as it is. They think I've done nothing for my life, that I have nothing to show for my life. And those thoughts, their thoughts, have affected me so much. They've affected me in a very bad way. I'm actually extremely proud that whenever they say such things to my face or around me, I just smile and tell them in the nicest way possible to mind their own business. Or I just ignore them. Because at the end of it all, I am living my life. I'm not living their life. And I know myself best of all. And I know that if I became the lawyer, the doctor that they wanted me to become, I would be in an even worse state. I know myself and I would not be happy. I'm not saying I'm completely happy now, hence why I'm looking after my mental state. But I know I'd be in a much, much worse place if I listened to them, or if I lived my life for them. So I'm living my own life, failures and all. And I'm actually in awe of how resilient I have become in these past few years. In that, as a people pleaser, I don't want to please anyone anymore. I don't care to please anyone anymore. It's one of my favorite triggers. I don't think, in most stories that you hear, or just in most instances of life that you watch, I feel like people pleasers are never truly happy. And I'm talking as a people pleaser myself. We just live life for other people, which is so crazy because we each have one life. Why am I giving the other person more lives? Are they a cat? Do they have 9 lives? Do they have 9 other people? People pleasing them to live the life that they want others to live. It's crazy. Why are we doing that? Oh, one of my lights. This has gone out. Oh well. It's better this way. I got this new Fenty cream. It's my first time getting one of the Fenty lip glosses and I'm obsessed. My lips are starting to feel dry, so I was just gonna put some more on. But I also love the sound of a lip gloss tube being opened. Although I don't want to waste my Fenty. I'm not wasting it, don't worry. Maybe this will look better with a lip liner. But yeah, I don't want to live life for other people and give them more lives. Control. I'm not a Sims character. I'm not in GTA. I've never played Sims. My brother's played GTA and I've played GTA. I've played GTA Vice City. Sorry, off topic. So I'm just trying to live my own life in every failure that I have, and in every success that I have, and in every joy that I have. I'm just shaking this Fleur body spray. I love Fleur products. Well, mostly the body sprays, that's all I've bought so far. Oh, I didn't even say this is Moonstone. I don't know how they do this to show you. This is the body spray in the scent Moonstone. I really love it. So far I've tried vanilla, I think it's called Vanilla Skin, Moonstone. Oh, what's the red one? There's a red one. That's what I've tried so far. I'm just just going to spray so I can get the atmosphere. Okay, that's nice. I don't want to waste it, but I'll keep shaking it. So also, I'm just trying to realize when I need. Oh, I'm going back to talking about mental health. To when I need rest and when I don't need rest. I mean, we always need rest, but like when I need rest, to just take it, regardless of what others think. I think that's another thing. I come from a generation. No generation. I come from a culture. It's not even a culture. I think it's maybe a culture where like mental health rest days are not a thing. Like, what do you mean? Rest? What rest? You can rest when you're sleeping, kind of thing. I think a lot of people relate to that. It's a sad thing. It's like a sort of thing where they don't believe. Like, it's so funny. Our bodies will get sick. You know, we'll start to sweat. We'll have fevers. We'll, I don't know, faint or sleep. We'll be lethargic. And that's understood. Yeah, your body's sick. But your mind can have its off days too. You know? Can you not feel sad or be depressed or feel anxious or feel worried or like have, I don't know, negative thoughts that really do affect you? And sometimes those things are even more powerful than physical sickness can be. Sometimes your mental health can just take a toll over the whole of you. It affects everything. I think it's just as serious. Just because you don't see the sweating or the fainting or whatever, those physical things, doesn't mean someone can't suffer mentally. But sometimes you do see it. You see it and it's just ignored. I don't want to say it's a cultural thing, but maybe it is. You know, in my family, my parents don't get being depressed, like depression. What's that? I'm laughing, but that's sad. Because it's just sad. There needs to be some sort of awareness, and I'm trying to share that awareness. But it can be sad because sometimes, like, I speak for my mother. It just, as a mother, it worries her. And I think in her worry, she dismisses it because that makes it easier. Also, it's hard being the oldest child because already you're shouldering the burdens of your parents and your siblings. And so when you have your own burdens, that just causes a collapse because, like, how are they going to be able to do, you know, sometimes people don't realize how much the older sibling does, you know. Sometimes, especially in a lot of person of colours families, the oldest person almost becomes a second parent, a second caregiver, or even the ultimate parent, the ultimate caregiver. And so when that person is sick, or that person is not in the right mindset, it causes a very significant collapse in the family. And they don't know how to, like, go on without that pillar of a person. And I think that's where my parents' worry comes from. I'm not saying it's selfish, their worry. There is just just the worry you would have for your child. But there's also a worry of like, what am I gonna do? She does this, she does that, she does that. Who else is gonna do this, that, and that? It can be really hard. I know in the media recently we've been making jokes on Blue Ivy. You can tell I'm a Beyonce fan. I've mentioned Beyonce 3-4 times now. But recently when Beyonce won her Grammy for Best Country Album, Blue Ivy had to tell her like, get up, they're talking about you, get up, go on stage. And everyone was making jokes, that's her manager, she's the manager of Beyonce. And it's a funny joke. But as an oldest daughter, that's also a pressure, That's a pressure to look after your parents, to look after your siblings. And I can see in that little snippet of Blue Ivy, like ushering her mum up, I can see myself telling my mum and dad, don't do that, don't do this, do that, go there. I remember when I was younger, we used to get letters from school. This was in primary school. And my mum would tell me to open up the letter and read it to her. Just read it to her. She never read them. Maybe when I couldn't read, obviously she had to read them. But once I learned how to read, she would tell me to open them and read them. I understand that a lot of it could have been to help me become a better reader. But there was also, like, some of these letters would be about my performance or about my grades, and those would be nerve-wracking to open and to read out loud. The funny thing is, I never thought to just like bluff my way through what I'm reading. Like, why couldn't I open it up and say, Shalifa has perfect marks, she's my best student, she's amazing, she's the smartest person in the whole wide world. I should have done that. I don't know, I never thought of doing that. I just read it word for word. It could say, I basically failed all my subjects and I'd read that out. It could say, she's a troublemaker and I'd read that out. It's just one thing after the other that you just start to learn and become as the oldest person in your family. I remember even when I was much younger, I was the first person in my class that was able to tell time. And that was because I would wake my mum up for her work shifts. Well, my mum's a nurse, so I'd wake her up for her shifts. I remember her sitting me down and saying, when the big hand is here. I used to wake her up at 6. So she would be like, when the big hand is on 12 and the little hand is on 6, come wake me up. And I'd sit there, look at the time, and I'll just be so aware of the time. Like, I want to wake my mum up, I want to wake her up, make sure she gets to work on time. And I'll just take this with the utmost importance. This was my important thing to do to help. And I was good at it. I'll wake her up whatever time she would tell me to wake her up. And sure, in school it helped because I was able to tell time much earlier than others. But that was like that was in nursery or something. I was just like, yeah, sure, but it was also nerve-wracking. I think as the oldest child, you grow up quicker than the youngest does. There are only 2 of us, me and my brother. But I've always needed to look after him. I've always felt the need to look after him. And my mum would joke, it's like you think you've given birth to him, it's like you think you're his mum. Like, no, but these were the responsibilities that were given to me. But anyway, a lot of me figuring much more forward than I have been. I'll just go back to this. By me putting others ahead of myself, it's like in the past few years, I barely have time for myself. I'm always chasing after what others are doing, like trying to help them, like trying to give everything of myself to help others. And I do that so much. I would give my last, I have a long story, there's just so much. But even in school, I'd give the pencil that I'm using to someone else when I've not completed my own work. And that would get me in trouble. So it's just understanding that I'm important. I need to love myself much more than I do. To remember that I'm just as important. I really admire people able to put these boundaries and just say, no, I'm not doing that, or no, you can do that yourself, you're a full-grown adult, do that yourself. And be completely happy and relaxed in their nose. But as I said, being a people pleaser is just awful. So I'm fixing that by putting myself first. You know, this is my last confession, and then I'll leave this. But I remember when I was younger, maybe I was like 4 years old. No, not 4. I was like 6. I've always never, when I was young, I did not know what I wanted to be. I did not know what I wanted to do. Acting came to me when I was like 14, and that was a complete accident. If you want to know how, I'll tell you the story later. Just let me know in the comments. If you don't want to know, that's fine. I would tell it. Or I will tell it, regardless of you wanting to know or not knowing. So I remember turning to my brother. I was on the sofa. He was sitting right in front of the TV. I'm a 90s child, so we used to sit right in front of the TV, next looking up like that, looking at the screen. That's probably why I have to wear glasses now. But he was sitting right in front of the TV, and I looked at him and I said, Shaban, that's his name, Shaban, what do you want to be when you're older? And I'll never forget this. He didn't even turn back to look at me, because I was sitting behind him, on the sofa. He didn't even turn back to look up at me. He just stayed watching his program, and he said in a very serious voice, and mind you, it was 4 years old, I want to be a car. Sorry. I want to be a car. Car. C-A-R. Car. And I remember being extremely baffled, because even as a 6-year-old, I knew he was not going to become a car. So I said to him, you can't be a car. And he, again, not looking at me, just continuing to watch his program, which I think was Pimp My Ride. If any of you remember Pimp My Ride, say, but yeah, Pimp My Ride. Continuing to watch it. I know a 4-year-old should not be watching Pimp My Ride. I was raised in the 90s. That's what we did. So Emily was watching Pimp My Ride, and he said very seriously again, I can be a car. And I just left him. Of course, later on, I changed into becoming a mechanic, which he is today. He's a mechanic. But I remember thinking, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure my brother gets his dream. Because I had no dream. At that time, I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I remember thinking, I'll probably end up being whatever my mom tells me to be. Which I knew at that time she wanted me to be a doctor. I knew that at the age of 6. But I was like, I'll do whatever I can to make sure Shaban gets his dream. And in some way I fulfilled that. I've helped him any way that a big family members I have. Oh, there's a plane passing over. But yeah, that was not grateful to have as a child. I should have been fighting for my own dreams, but it came to me in the end. I'll tell that story later. I'm happy my brother is the mechanic that he wants to be. And I'm happy that I'm sticking to my guns and being an actor, as well as whatever this is, a hobby, ASMR. Yeah. Anyway, I think I want to invite you into remembering what you want to do and doing that regardless of what others say, regardless of what others tell you is right or tell you what you're supposed to do. Even the mini dreams, like, I don't know, doing a YouTube channel or making a YouTube video like I'm doing now. To be fair, only 3 of you may watch this, and that's fine. Even one of you watching this will make my day. And even if you don't get to the end, that's fine. I've done what I was scared to do. And that's just amazing to me. I'd invite you to ignore that little voice in your head that sounds a lot like you, that little ever. And also to ignore the haters, or even just people who think they're well-wishers but are actually telling you things that aren't for you. Just ignore those voices and set boundaries and just exist as you were supposed to exist.